Guys, welcome back to another edition of the Coaches Show on Friday nights in Carolina. With me today, I'm joined by Bryan Till from Richmond Senior High School. Coach Till, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you joining. Of course, you are our game of the week between Richmond and Hoke County. Just want to say congratulations on the success so far on the season. Talk a little bit about how your team has been performing through this COVID-19 spring season.
Man, I mean, we just had to continue to overcome things. When we, first week, postponed game with Scotland after the game with Purnell Sweat was moved because of COVID issues in the conference. And so then we got to play Pinecrest. Really fortunate to come out with overtime victory there of a good football team. And, made a lot of those first game mistakes and hopefully got those out of our system. But then game postponed last week with Jack Britt. So really proud of our kids and how they continue to just focus and practice. In spite of all this, I mean, it had been really easy. And I had a couple of college coaches I talked to prior to the season who went through this stuff, talk about, hey, the toughest thing is getting your guys ready every week in spite of them knowing, hey, something could happen, tomorrow and we don't get to play. And so proud of our guys for responding to that, proud of our coaches for continuing to coach them really hard. We look forward to playing on Friday night again, finally, after a 2-week break. So.
Yeah, so what you've been mentioning about the morale of the team, and I've had a little bit of experiences that as well with a lot of postponements of not necessarily of the COVID-19 thing a year back, but a lot of the morale of the players and stuff were kind of down. So what's some of the messages you've been sending them about keeping the morale up?
Well, I mean, really the good thing is being able to get together keeps the morale up a little bit. When we were apart, it was a lot harder. We would do some Zoom meetings and we do some things where we could get together in small groups and things like that. But that was when it was a lot harder. Right now, guys are together. It's a lot easier to do that. We script in some competition stuff. Kids love to compete. So you script in some competition stuff, things like that in practice. So they're having fun competing because that's why they play the game anyway, is they like to go compete. And as long as you're doing those type of things in practice, they tend to have a good time and keeps morale high. Even if you don't have an opponent, scripting things like 2-minute, goal line type situations. Some team stuff, keeping it short, but doing some one-on-one things. Guys respond pretty well to that stuff.
Coach, I got to ask, though, that Pinecrest game, I know it probably was an exciting game in some aspects, an overtime victory coming out. Unfortunately, you hadn't been able to play Scotland yet or Jack Britt, but, going forward the rest of the schedule as you start with Friday against Hoke County, what's the continued team message and going forward, getting in towards the playoffs?
Well, the big thing is we got to continue to execute, get better execution. The other night we're up 21-0, and we get some untimely penalties. We miss some tackles in space. We snap a punt and drop a punt. That they return for a touchdown, stuff like that. We've got to. That's where we're focused is on just continuing to get better at our execution. There's a lot of rust 15 months off of football, so continue to get better off execution there, and then of course you're going to focus on your opponent. On what they do and getting better that week. So it kind of hones in the execution. Hey, this is what we've got to get better at. So it helps us focus a little bit. But the real message, every week is just to continue to get better. Are we better today than we were yesterday? Are we better next week than if we're the same team, week 7, 8, 9, as we were week 1, what have we done as players and coaches? What have we been doing with our time? And so I think we are continuing to get better. Practice a lot of things. We're not going to repeat the same things. We continue to grow and say, okay, now that we've learned this, let's move to this. So I just hope that continues, and that's what we're going to all year. We're going to continue to preach that.
Coach, one of my final questions for you here is this is kind of a repeated question in the coaches show, especially during this season. It takes a team effort for huge wins and big victories, and getting into the number 2 spot in our power rankings for 4A. But what are some of the athletes this year so far that have really impressed you and stood out to you?
Well, we were fortunate to return a lot of guys, even with a couple guys leaving early to go to college. We're returning a ton of guys, and our entire offensive line has been really impressive. How they've come up and just continue to. They've really been the anchor. Offensive, defensive line has been the anchor of our football team. Returning as many guys we have there. Jaleel Davis, Braxton Butler, Jaden Covington, Caleb Wilson. All are guys who had some time last year. 4 out of the 5 guys had some time returning on the offensive line. Jaden's had the least amount, but, really gifted young man. And then Jeff Linton and Austin Moore playing the right tackle, alternating there at right tackle. And Jeff's a talented young guy, and Austin's a returning senior. So those guys have been an anchor for us. On offense, obviously Dalton, Stroman, and Tramel Jones coming back have been huge. Tramel's all-season work. I don't know if I know there are guys around the state who worked hard. I don't know if there's anybody in the state who's worked harder than that kid to make sure he was ready. Wingett's getting a steal out with him, and the speed and just the tenacity he brings to the game. Deron Coleman in the backfield. It just a lot of guys there. And then, with Jacoby Baldwin leaving, Gerard Morrison stepping up on offense. So our offensive guys coming back there has been huge. On defense, like I said, our defensive line with J.D. Lampley and Khalil Brown and then Derek Everett, all having time last year, all starting at different times last year, coming back on our D-line. And then the big get back on defense is C.J. Tillman. I mean, kid's been running some tailback. He's our Wildcat quarterback. He's one of the top linebackers in the state. With some of the guys graduating, I don't know that there's anybody in the state better than him on defense right now at their position. Just incredible. Gotten up to about 230 pounds. Still has the speed he had at 210. Just a very ferocious defender. So those guys all coming back, have been huge for us, and we look forward to. It's just fun for me as a coach to watch those guys continue to grow and perform every week and see the excitement they get with getting to play again.
Definitely. Guys, this was Bryan Till from Richmond High School. Coach, we're looking forward to seeing you Friday at Richmond High School in the game of the week against Hoke County.
Thanks, guys. Go Raiders.
Sir.